this time, at this point in my life is really a stressful and a very painful time, I must say. When a party comes to power or is about to come to power, immediately there are certain forces that surround your leader, and whom we call them coterie in regular parlance. So you understand that. Now I blame the coterie for everything that is going wrong with BRS, starting from losing elections, starting from losing my election to losing general election to whatever is happening right now. So there is a shadow that the candle and the candlelight itself casts, and there these evil creatures dwell. So that is how it happened. The coterie prevailed and I got thrown out is what I strongly believe.
Hello, Kavitha. Welcome to Indian Express Idea Exchange program. Hello, everyone. We have Kavitha, BRS leader. She was BRS, and she is now about to chart a new path, and which we hope we will get to know something about it also during this interaction. Kavitha, we will. This is the Idea Exchange program. You have had it like once. First, if you want to have an opening remark, you can have it. After that, I will be asking some questions. Later, we will open the floor for everyone to ask question. Okay, Kavitha, now we have. I have seen you as an MP, and although you had your family's brand's name with you, I have seen you how you had come up, and with your speeches and with your interventions, how you came up like a very significant voice in Parliament. This is something that I had witnessed in Parliament. After that, you had a defeat, then again, but it didn't tie you down or something. You just carried on. Now it is recently what we have seen, and the new latest development. But in the interview which Indian Express, you said that you were thrown out of BRS. How are you dealing with that situation now? And have you finalized what is the next for you?
Thank you, Indian Express. Thank you, Liz Ji, for giving me this opportunity to exchange our ideas. And I've done this before, as I said earlier. I landed in trouble last time. I hope I don't get into that this time. But anyways, this time, at this point in my life is really a stressful and a very painful time, I must say, because I came out from a private life into a public life to fight for the statehood movement of Telangana, very passionately, very, deeply involved into the movement. I made sure that women of Telangana participated in the Telangana movement by going around every village. I worked very hard. I made sure that this particular festival called Batukama, which is celebrated during the Navratras, it is a very special indigenous festival of Telangana, which was neglected during the United AP. So I projected it as a point of pride where all women should join together. My inspiration was Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, who bought in Ganesh idol, then collected people and then said how important that India is to be independent. Same thing I did with Batukama. I used to gather women and then tell them, why is this our festival? Why should we celebrate it with pride? And we are no second grade citizens to anybody else. I tried and instilled that sense of pride, which ultimately helped in more women participation in the Telangana movement. Generally when a political party calls for women's participation, they don't respond very well. But mine was a cultural outfit and mine is a civil society organization with which I closely worked with people. So this is the 18th year of my ordination. We are in fact crossing over to the 19th year. So it has been a long time for me being in public life, worked very hard. And then after being independent for almost 8 years, from 2006 to 14, in 14, I contested as a member of parliament from the BRS and then got elected to the parliament and did my bit, whatever best I could do. Then I got defeated following term. And as I said earlier, now again I'm saying my defeat was not a random people's decision, but then it was a very deeply conspiration, deeply rooted out and very well played out conspiracy with most of the people whom now I am also upset about the coterie surrounding my father. From that time onwards, I was constantly requesting the party to look into it, what has happened, how did I get defeated, etc., etc. So no checks have been made. But then I believe after a couple of years, my leader realized that all of them did not properly work, and then he said, "You do need a post in a district. You do need a protocol." And that time, party gave me a MLC, which again is an elected post. So I worked hard with my local body electives, got elected again, not once, but twice as a member of Legislative Council. And while all of this was happening, I am a person who calls spade a spade. I know in politics you're not supposed to do that, but it is internally I did all this. I tried to tell my father or the system with my brother or anybody that there are certain things that we need to work towards, especially when it comes to the promises that we made for the Telangana martyrs' families or Telangana movement leaders and the spirit of Telangana, etc. Those need to be also seriously considered, etc. So in the last 5 years, it is no cakewalk for me. There were a lot of internal issues which I flagged at the right platforms internally. But then about 100, 150 days back, one of the confidential communication to my leader was very tactfully leaked by this coterie, bringing the whole issue into public. Otherwise, I don't think, Liz, you have ever seen me in past 18, 19 years, never ever complaining about the party or saying anything against the Telangana state at all, or even about anybody. But then now I'm forced to continue this discourse in public, which is not very right for me to do, but then they left me with no choice. When they have put it in public, I had to speak about certain things in public, and it went on and on. Ultimately, that led to my suspension from the party. So I simply had one question that but before suspending anybody, a person who's been working with you through thick and thin, a party should have asked for my explanation. At least maybe a show cause notice was definitely needed. I expected at least a show cause notice would be served, but that was not the case. So once I was suspended, I said, if the party doesn't want me anymore, I will not hang on to the positions that I got from the party. So I also immediately resigned to the member of Legislative Council and also to the party membership. But then you understand, Liz, that this is the entire Telangana movement was very emotional. You have seen the emotions play high in the parliament as well. So for us, Telangana movement, that passion, politics, family, everything got intertwined, because when my brother came into the Telangana movement, we did not anticipate that the state will be formed. Ultimately, my father will become the chief minister, or we will take up certain positions, etc. The only thought that was in my mind when I came into the agitation in 2006 was simple: that everybody else is fighting for Telangana. Me being the educated woman, me being the daughter of KCR himself, who is promoting this entire state movement. If I sit at home, what is the point? So that is how I got into the movement, into politics, into public life. I did my bit, but I believe very strongly that I was unfairly and unceremoniously removed from the party. As a protest, I resigned. In fact, today is the 30th day, just a month I've been suspended from the party. So as you said, I haven't given much thought about what I should be doing, what is my course ahead. Many people are suggesting multiple things, but I'm a person who's been in people for 19 years. I understand that whenever a politician makes a move, it should not be only for his or her benefit, but it should be for the benefit of people as well. So I was a member of parliament. I was a member of Legislative Council. So either by floating a party or joining another party, I might get one or two positions. But will it lead to the change that I have demanded, being within the BRS, if I, carry the torch myself? per se, I'm leading this BC reservation movement. I strongly believe we should now work towards social equality in Telangana. I call it Samajika Telangana movement, where all the societies, all the communities should get equal share and opportunity in power politics. I've been demanding for that. I've been working for that internally. Now I'm going to work on that externally. So how will my goals and how will these people's movement ultimately converge and how can I take it forward is the crossroads that I'm at right now. But hopefully in next few months, I'll find a path and then I'll walk on it. So that is where I am right now, and rest is up to you.
That your Telangana Jagruti, that activities you are continuing. I just read that you have added new people. New people have joined it. What do you think? Like, what does you want? What do you want with that organization? Like, how are you planning to take it forward?
Ma'am, Telangana Jagruti is a civil society organization. It was formed during the Telangana agitation. So since the inception, we have always spoken about politics of the day. We've always spoken about how both Congress and BJP have been conning the people of Telangana and how they've been putting up roadblocks in the formation of the state. So my organization has always been political in nature. Even after the state formation, we worked on various issues, starting from human resources development to working on various cultural aspects of the state, etc. So right now, I have this platform which is political in nature, excepting for the fact that we've never contested in polls. Other than that, Jagruti always has been a political outfit, and we are taking up a lot of issues, especially if you remember, ma'am. We did a massive dharna in Delhi for the women reservations.
Yes.
Yes.
I do remember.
Constantly, for 2 years, worked on women reservations bill, holding various roundtable conferences, pressurizing the MPs from various parties to talk about it in both the houses of parliament. We got support of 18 political parties. We made sure our leader at that point of time, my father, also wrote to the Prime Minister saying this should be done. At that point of time, CWC was conducted in Hyderabad, and we demanded, and luckily for us, Madam Sonia also had written to the Prime Minister, ultimately, which resulted in the Women Reservation Bill. So Jagruti has always taken up causes like these. After the Women Reservations Bill, we have taken up the OBC reservation. Telangana state, 52% is the OBC population, according to the census that we've conducted after the formation of the state. So Congress party this time before coming to power has promised to give 42% reservation. So Telangana Jagruti was the only organization in the last 2 years fighting for this cause, and Congress party ultimately passed a bill in the assembly, etc., which BJP is now holding. So that is one movement we are championing and we are working on it. So likewise, many such movements are there, many such issues are there which Jagruti has been working, and we will continue to do so.
Yeah, Kavitha, before I get to our editor, Unirajan Shankar also has joined there. He's also there now. I just wanted to let you know. You had raised, after, coming out, I mean, like, okay, whenever, just before coming out of the, or like you said, thrown out of the party, you had raised certain questions, okay, including about the corruption, including about the conspiracy. Have you got any response from the party so far?
Not at all, not at all. And see, that has been the problem with BRS. When I lost an election, I requested for an internal review. That never happened. When BRS lost any election, internal reviews never used to happen. And for a party which is in power for 10 years, we need to constantly keep checking our ministers, keep checking our MLAs, make sure that they're not, resorting to corrupt practices. And ultimately, people will be suffering. That is the whole issue. When I was in the party, whenever any such thing came to my notice, I always used to write to my father, tell him, make sure he acted upon that. So I did that. Now, when I questioned it, unfortunately, I had to do it in the public space. That is when I think the party did not take it very well.
Who is Yeah, who's responsible for this? Not responding to your questions, or throwing you out of party. Who do you think is responsible for these actions? Because as far as we know, we always saw BRS as your father's party. It's like we used to say that he is the party. And so, if you are saying that you have not been receiving any messages or not getting any responses from the party, so you hold your father responsible for it?
Well, ma'am, you've seen many political parties in your life. You are a very renowned journalist, understand how parties change over time. When a party comes to power or is about to come to power, immediately there are certain forces that surround your leader, and whom we call them coterie in regular parlance. So you understand that. Now, I blame the coterie for everything that is going wrong with BRS, starting from losing elections, starting from losing my election to losing general election to whatever is happening right now. See, these are forces with vested interests. And my father, being a movement leader, he always only worked for the welfare of the state, worked for the achievement of the state. So he's beyond these things. But then, how can I say this? Like right under the candle, there is a lot of darkness, So there is a shadow that the candle and the candlelight itself casts, and there these evil creatures dwell. So that is how it happened. The coterie prevailed, and I got thrown out, is what I strongly believe.
Has your brother supported you even in the other crisis? You had to be jailed and you really went through a very bad time. Did your brother support you that time?
Ma'am, I am the most suffered person in the BRS. The entire vendetta of the Bharatiya Janata Party on BRS was continuously and constantly focused only upon me. So 3 full years I was constantly bullied, morally judged, etc., and ultimately jailed. During that entire 3 years, I had to face ED, CBI, and media, everything on my own. Party did not rescue me during that time. But yes, when I was jailed, as a family, my father stood by me, my brother stood by me. They all came to the jail. They all did whatever was required, stood in support with my family, etc. But then, for a politician, the inconvenience or the harassment of the jail is one thing, but the character assassination and the moral judgment and the media trial that happens even before that, that is where you expect your party to stand with you, and they never did. And after I came out of jail, I did suffer health wise, etc. I took some time, and then again I started my public life. And post jail, I must say, parties, neither the social media nor the party, nobody supported, including my brother. When I sat in the Telangana Bhavan, which is a party headquarters, and held a press conference and said that, see, there are a lot of conspiracies happening on me and I am suffering. I'm a women MLC of the party. But my brother, being the working president, he did not respond. And if he would have, I think we wouldn't be doing this interview today if he would have responded in the right time. He did not, and hence the court prevailed, is what I feel.
Before I, call others for the question, let me ask you one thing, Kavitha. We have written about it. I have written about it also. We have, if you take all political families in India, right from Kashmir to, in the South Kerala, if you can see the political families, the leaders always prefer sons, to carry on their legacy. And in your state also, in the other state, in the Andhra also, we have seen. Why is it like that? I mean, maybe Supriya Sule got lucky because she doesn't have any brothers. Otherwise, everyone is like only, the fathers or even sometimes mothers prefer the sons to carry on the legacy. Uh, what do you think? Why is it that? Do you think that it is because of this so-called patriarchal attitude, or is it something else?
At least 100%, I think this is a story of every household of our nation, not only political families. I've seen when a sacrifice has to be made, if there is less money, the male child gets educated and the women has to sit at home. Starting from there to everything in life. I've heard so many stories. I've met so many women who suffer because of patriarchy. Uh, so it is, political families are not exempt from that, except maybe in Kerala, where women are given a better space, is what I feel, but I don't know up close. And even in Supriya's case, I think Ajit Pawarji was given a lot of more power before her. And then only later on, Supriya probably had to fight, or maybe during the trouble, she was given enough space. Only after Ajit Pawar left is what I feel, but I could be wrong there. But it is a story of every household, not one, starting from, I think, the Gandhis to everybody. So same story everywhere.
Yeah, and sometimes even if the girls are much better or brighter or even sharper, it happens, right?
It does. It does. I agree.
Okay. I'll just ask Pushkar to ask his questions. Others, whoever wants to ask questions can leave a message in the chat box. Pushkar?
Ma'am, my first question to you is, has the party as well as the council chairman accepted your resignation? And this second question I have is, Jubilee Hills bypolls are supposed to happen. Recently, you met Mr. Vishnuvardhan Reddy, because of which there was a lot of talk that you might enter the fray. If you actually do, don't you think it will split the BRS vote and you might stand the risk of being labeled as the BJP's B team?
Well, first of all, congratulations for having a very artistic son.
Daughter, ma'am, daughter.
Daughter.
Daughter, good. Yeah.
Yes.
So the other thing is, Pushkar, now I am out of BRS party. So doesn't matter to me what happens to the BRS party, point one. Point two, when I submit a resignation in a speaker format, only the honorable chairman has to accept. Party has nothing to do with it. So I sent two resignations. One is a resignation to the primary membership of the party, which was sent to my party office. They gave me an acknowledgement, which I think is acceptance. And the other one is sent to the honorable chairman. He is not accepted yet. But then that is a Congress government, so they will accept, when it suits to them politically. But my job is done. I gave the resignation, and I also called the chairman Garu, told him that I have resigned in full conscience, and please accept my resignation. So my job is done. Jubilee Hills, I have met Vishnu. Vishnu is a family friend. He's a very dear fellow. Yesterday also on Dasra, I met him again. But it is not political. It is just a family meeting, that's all.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask you, as somebody who's been associated with the history of Telangana, because given the fact that your family struggles have actually led to, the movement led to the formation of the state. How do you view these differing iterations and these differing definitions or differing names of Hyderabad Raising Day, or let's just call it September 17th? You've got different parties and different political outfits calling it by different names. Don't you think it's such a significant occasion is kind of there is a certain measure of politicization that has happened vis-a-vis this? I would just want your views on that.
Yes, please. When the Telangana agitation started in 2001, my father and the movement leader at that point of time, he took a very conscious decision. He wanted to call it Telangana Vilina Dinotsav, which means the integration day of Telangana with India. But then BJP even then wanted to call it Telangana Liberation Day because they believed it is the liberation of Hindu people from a Muslim ruler. We do not accept that ideology. So during the Telangana agitation, BRS, the then TRS, took a very decent call saying it is called as Telangana Liberation Day. And at that point in the movement, there was not much chance for BJP or the Congress to politicize the issue because the ultimate issue was the formation of a separate Telangana state. So rest of the arguments died down on their own. But after the formation of Telangana, during BRS rule, BJP did not try to do anything about it. But only in the last year, 2022, before the 2023 election, BJP suddenly entered saying that, we will celebrate Telangana Liberation Day, and Honorable Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, used to attend these programs. But I believe that it is an infringement on the federal rights of Telangana state. because you as a central government, you are coming into a state and trying to redefine our history and create differences among Hindus and Muslims of Telangana. First of all, do you do that in any other state? How do you go and celebrate a state's event with a central protocol? And why is the central home minister attending while no state chief minister or the ministers are involved and no people are involved? So it is just BJP trying to do that. Now, to counter this BJP's narrative, Congress has come up with a different name. But end of the day, people of Telangana have always tried to live in peace. So much so that even Gandhiji called our Telangana culture as Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb, where Hindu Muslims live together. So Telangana Jagruti, BRS, all of us believe that it should be called Telangana's Integration Day with Indian nation, not anything else.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chetan.
Kavitha, since you have spoken about the BJP, let me ask you one thing. There is a lot of rumors that, a few months back or immediately after the elections, that there is a possibility of BRS merging with the BJP. How far is it true?
Ma'am, I had said this already. I will say it again. When I was in jail, there was a proposal that was brought to me from my party members saying that they are asking us to merge the party for you to get the bail. I said, no, law doesn't work that way. I believe in the justice system. And there is no way that a party born for a statehood movement should be sacrificed for one person's freedom. And I said, let us see, let us try. How long will they keep us? Let us, keep trying for the bail in a proper manner. And some judge might see a merit in my case and then give me bail. So it took me 5.5 months to stay in Tihar jail, but I did not let BRS to be merged with BJP when I was inside the jail. So it was brought to me by party people. I don't know what actually happened. Was it serious or what happened? But after I came out, not much discussion on that. So that is where I would leave it.
Okay. I'll call Asad Rahman.
Hi, ma'am. My name is Asad. I just wanted to ask you about the Telangana caste survey. The Congress has been pitching the Telangana caste survey done by the Revant Reddy government there as a model that can be used for the central caste enumeration census also. What do you make of this caste survey in Telangana? And do you think that the way it's been done, it is something that can be done across the country in a similar way?
Not at all, but a brilliant question, Asad. This needs to be heard across the nation because the Congress is only trying to bank on this caste survey and to try to sell it, I think, right now in Bihar, but also in every other election. See, the point here is when KCR sir had conducted the caste survey right after the formation of Telangana in 2014, population of OBC was 52. Now, after Revant Reddy's government conducts a caste survey, population of OBC is 46%. So there is 6% reduction in OBC population, which is a serious concern. And sudden rise in OC population, upper caste population of that 6% is directly seen. And we demanded that if the Congress government believes this is the right survey, why don't you display it in open, gram panchayat wise, like gaon mein, if you display it, you'll know it in clear, in black and white, you'll understand because people will immediately come and say, this is a wrong survey. So government has been very opaque on these issues and they've not even given this caste survey in the assembly as well. So anything regarding the caste survey has always been a very opaque and very secretively done. And this can never be a model for India. It has to be a very transparent model. See, end of the day, you should know how many people are there, and then only you can formulate proper policies accordingly or schemes or whatever. That the Congress government did not do. And in fact, if you look at the Indira Sahani case clearly says there has to be a dedicated commission. If a dedicated commission does the enumeration, and after the enumeration, if the government can prove that there is no proportionate representation of any community politically, that community can then be given reservations. So end of the day, if the government is not proving that proportionate representation is not there, then only reservation benefit can come to OBC or SC or anybody. So this government is fudging the data. They have fudged it in the very beginning. Their process was faulted. We at every step we kept interrupting, but the government never listened. They just went on with it. As a result, now we are seeing if anybody goes to the court on those technicalities, the reservations will not stand. So the Congress is saying we are giving 42% reservations. BJP is holding the bills in both at President of India level and governor level. But then ultimately result is not coming out. So no simple answer. That is a fake survey, discrepant survey, and very opaque survey. It should not be followed anywhere in the country.
I just wanted to check one thing with you. Is this, the internal struggle within the BRS, and now which has become public and all that, has it made your journey a very lonely journey? Is it a lonesome process? Who are your friends? Who are your enemies right now? And the second question is, local body polls, as you know, are going to happen. So what is the biggest point on which these elections should be fought?
Yes, for any women in politics, the journey will be very lonely and lonesome. I've never seen a women politician being supported by a male fraternity, unfortunately, and not even the women themselves support. So that is an unfortunate conditioning, I think, of our nation, where the support doesn't come from either side. But yes, at times when I think about it very deeply, I feel that if you choose to be in politics, you should be very gender neutral. You should not think as a woman. You should just think like a leader and move on. You should just need to gather support irrespective of whatever difficulties that come your way. And even if the first step is the gender bias, I think it should be considered as one of the problems of being in politics, but not go too deep into it and then move on is what I've learned I've did in the last 20 years, and I'll keep doing that. Apart from that, yes, when the local body elections are done, I think that the farmers' issues are going to be a very serious concern, because the urea shortage faced by the Telangana farmer now is at its peak, and the Congress government is not able to manage or get enough urea from the central government, store it ahead and distribute it to the farmers with ease. Instead, in some districts, the urea is kept in the police stations and is being distributed. And in many districts, farmers are standing in line for hours together only to return empty-handed. So when you look at that, I believe farmers' issues will be major issues during this election. And the caste survey issue, the OBC reservation issue, is the second major factor in the entire poll process.
So, Kavitha ji, this is an additional question, in addition to one of the questions that was asked of you. And your reply was the, doubts about whether the caste survey has been done correctly, because conflicting data were there. Now, similar doubts have been raised in other states where caste surveys have been held. The first one, for instance, in Bihar, there were parties saying that the data are not reliable. So I would just want you to kind of address one question. Today, in the entire country, across the political spectrum, now we are roughly in favor of a caste survey or a caste census now, because the central government has also agreed to the demand. The Congress had been demanding it. But somehow, while census exercises in India since 1881 have generally been believed to throw up very authentic data. I mean, those data are used by researchers and all. In almost every caste survey, while parties are supporting caste surveys, there are questions raised after every survey that the data have not been collected properly. So I just wanted to ask you, while almost all parties are on board regarding the caste survey, is it that it is basically a game of one-upmanship, trying to prove that we are more pro-OBC, the other is more anti-OBC? So with such kind of a polarized discourse around available caste surveys, how credible do you think such an exercise could be? Thank you.
I feel that the whole caste survey should be understood from an angle of proper data interpolation, because in India, I believe we have around 4,200 castes recognized nationally. But then again, it depends and differs and varies from state to state. So when caste survey was conducted in Telangana, when the enumerators went to house, and they did not reach every house, that is our fundamental objection. But when they went to any particular house, they probably did not have the caste and the subcaste name properly written. So many people objected that if I am from a certain OBC caste, my subcaste is not mentioned. So when you are doing a caste survey, one has to be very, very careful about the subcaste as well, because basing on the subcaste, the subcategorization of the reservations will become a larger technical issue. So central government has given the right of the subclassification of caste to the states, whereas the overall reservation is again determined by the cases in the Supreme Court, Schedule 9, etc., that you are aware of. So not only Congress party, every regional party and many OBC communities have been demanding the caste census from a long time. Now, ultimately, because BJP sees some political gain, they've accepted that they will do it. And people are trying to be very objective and trying to have faith in these systems. But when you don't find your caste name or subcaste name, then doubts automatically come up, and your reservation percentage of your job, your education, your political representation, everything will change. So that is why it is not about one-upmanship, but one has to be very, very carefully doing it, as carefully as you would, work into maybe a bank account, or how do you do a direct benefit transfer scheme. So that carefulness is not seen when they're doing the caste census. They're very careless, like one caste name they would give, they will forget the 54 subcastes that are part of. So caste in India is a very complicated thing. It is not a flat line like if you are an OBC, you are an OBC. No, within OBC there are castes, and within castes there are subcastes and subclasses, etc. So those need to be properly identified, recognized, given out in public notice, etc. That has not been done in many states. Karnataka, same problem happened. Bihar, same problem happened. After Bihar's caste census was stayed by the court, when rest of the states asked the courts how to go about it, courts very clearly said you have to have a dedicated commission to do the enumeration. But even in Telangana, enumeration was given to a different agency, and then later on dedicated commission was formulated. I'm sorry, I'm talking too many academics, but there is a lot of complicated data, and if the governments are sincere and there is political will, it can be easily done with the current technology that is available. Unfortunately, governments are not displaying such political will, which is what happened in Telangana. Sorry for the answer.
Yeah, Kavitha, do you think that the now the state the center also has announced caste census, so they said it will go along with the usual census. So do you think that that will serve the purpose? As far as we understood, it is also just knowing the caste, just taking the caste name along with the the other details. So would that serve any purpose, like you explained?
Ma'am, if they do the proper homework on every state, even before they begin the caste survey, they should really put it out in public, saying that, see, this is a caste, these are the subcastes that are there in your state. If you have any objections, come up to us, etc. I mean, much before the actual census is started, this consultation process should be finished with all the communities and the community leaders. And basically, a sense of confidence is to be instilled among the people that, see, we really want to do the enumeration properly. That did not happen in Telangana's case, nor in Karnataka, nor in Bihar. That is why people ended up going to the courts. If the central government is doing it, I believe they should start working right now on each and every state, each and every caste. They have to start consultation, which unfortunately they haven't yet. I hope they will do.
But the concept of caste census, do you seriously believe that has it has the potential to do some good for the OBC community, or it will just remain as a number?
No, 100% it will do some good if we will work on the subcategorization properly as well. Because see, in our state, despite having 52% OBC community, public representatives from OBC communities are nowhere close to the 52 number. And even within the number of the OBC representatives that we have about 120 castes in Telangana of OBC, but only 4 or 5 caste leaders are there that you can see and identify. So rest of the caste never got benefit of any reservations at all. even in education, even in employment. So now the fight of the OBC communities is to make sure that these benefits go to every caste that is an OBC caste. So that is what I'm talking about when I said, subcategorization, which is allowed by the states. If the enumeration is correct, then the subcategorization can be correct, then the benefits can flow seamlessly. So that has to be done very well.
So, Kavitha ji, since you said that if a proper consultative process is done, a list of castes and subcastes state-wise, and then people are asked to produce any objections that they have, don't you think it can create another set of problems? Because in many states, there are claims to a certain caste status that are not accepted. For instance, let me just give you some examples from North India. Like in Rajasthan, there are Ravana Rajputs or Daroga Rajputs who say they are Rajputs, but Rajputs say they are not Rajputs. Similarly, you have Jadon Rajputs in Rajasthan and UP. You have, say, Tyagis in Western UP who say they are Brahmins, Brahmins say they are not Brahmins. So once you put it out in a democratic kind of a way, then caste itself being very fluid historically with claims and counterclaims, do you think that is something that is so easily resolvable?
Pathakji, don't you think it is 80 years after the independent India? It is high time to solve these problems, no? How long will you keep sweeping them under the carpet? Why shouldn't we start consultative process and try and figure these things out? Now even today, many kids who want to go for higher studies, they do not get their caste certificate. And the MRO doesn't understand what their caste name stands for. So they have to compromise and get whichever popular caste name is available. And that ends up in these kids losing the reservation opportunities originally given for them. So the government has given reservations. You cannot get to that reservation just because MRO cannot give you a proper caste certificate. So I think it is high time for India to look internally, use these caste not for politics, but for a positive change, where you make sure that kids get their scholarships, they get their jobs, they get their equal political representation. Use it for a positive purpose. But I think it is high time to solve this issue.
Ma'am, it's just an extension of Nikhila's question. With the local body polls around the corner, is it safe to assume that you will also be in the fray? Not you personally, but your candidates. And another question I wanted to ask you was, since the Congress has come to power in Telangana, it has leveled allegations of corruptions on lots of projects during the BRS's tenure. For example, Kaleshwaram, the Formula E project. What do you have to say on that?
Well, my fundamental objection and my problem with the coterie, which consists of my two favorite cousins, was the same thing, right? Congress is putting up all these allegations on my father, leaving the ministers alone, who were actual responsible people and who were the people who executed these projects. So that is one. I feel some of these coterie guys are tied up with Congress, have an internal understanding. That is why ultimately they are blaming my leader, not the people who are actually responsible for it. Is my objection. For airing it out openly, I got suspended from the party. So that is one. Two, local body polls. Right now, there is a confusion, Pushkar, as you know. We are awaiting a court case on the 8th of this month. I don't think polls will come anytime soon. It might be another 3-4 months is what we are thinking, and 3-4 months is a long time. I will decide when it comes to that point if I or my people should be in the fray or not.
We have been seeing, this South being actually at the forefront for the South, the governments in the South. Welfare schemes, and of late most of the welfare schemes we have seen in the recent past were targeting the women. So do you see them having any impact on the ground? Basically, are they helping women to change their life? Do they make that visible and significant impact in the in people's life?
Lisa, I think first of all, we should be happy that all the political parties realized now women don't vote according to what their husband wants us to vote. We vote.
Yes.
So that is one thing that all the political parties have realized. So now the schemes are all targeting women. Some schemes, yes, they will certainly make a difference. But if they are implemented properly, I'm sure they will. There is a lot of poverty in rural India even today, a lot of unemployment. See, at least many of us are receiving education until at least 10 or +2. But then when you're married, you go back to the village, there is no suitable job that you get to your education. So rural unemployment rate is not exactly being calculated in any of the surveys. But when we as politicians go to the village, we understand there are so many educated youngsters just, hanging around in the village. So many educated women who are married into villages have nothing to do. So that is a serious issue. And that is why whenever any government or any party comes up with a scheme for a women are responding, trying to see that at least we will get this 2,500 or 2,000 or whatever money. And I think it will bring certain meaningful change in women's life if done properly.
Okay, another issue which is actually more concern for the southern states is delimitation. So your chief minister also spoke about it. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin has been raising it very often. Do you think that it is something that will go without major issue, like from your experience as a politician in parliament and in in the assembly, what are your fears when it comes to delimitation process, which is up to which is upcoming in 26-27?
As it is, as a person who's sitting in Hyderabad, we've always experienced that none of our Hyderabad news makes into any of the mainstream channels in Delhi, so-called national channels. It's very unfortunate. And even today, some channels call it a South Bulletin, and they run all the 4 states news as if we are a separate, entity. So that is being very seriously discussed. 1, 2, when it comes to actual political influencing, the North with the number of seats in South, it has always been a tilted floor for the southern politicians. Very few of us have made to the top in Delhi. UP being the largest, and then Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, etc. So when the delimitation is going to happen, if the representation and the percentage of representation of the South is kept at least as on today, then only I believe there will be some say for the southern states, because we are the highest paying states from South, to the nation's GDP. But what we get in return is very less. But I understand we have responsibility to share our wealth with our fellow Indians. So that is fairly fine, because we are all a union of states, and as a federal setup, we should be doing that. But yes, political representation should not be sacrificed, and South should get a proper representation, just not based on the population. The GDP also, the contribution of southern states to the GDP also should be taken into consideration.
2 very short related questions. One, since this debate began around delimitation, we have seen statements one after the other coming from first southern politicians and then even from the RSS Sarsang Chalak that people should have more children. Now, this is something that would have been very surprising 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So what do you think of this, clamor, which has now even reached the RSS for people to have more children? One. Second, I would like your response to when you say that, not just population, but GDP should be taken into account. Now, how will it sit with, our general policy wherein prosperity is not rewarded, rather poverty is what gets you subsidy. That is our existent system till now. And even the voting right is not based on, your wealth. So these 2 questions, one is this clamor for more children, and the other is how does it sit with the whole idea of, till now progressive taxation. If you are richer, you pay more tax. If you are poorer, you pay less tax. So how do we reconcile these 2 things?
Well, this having more children thing has not only started in RSS, but also we've seen in nations like Japan, China, etc., where people are now saying, have more children. So whenever policy adjustments like these are made, policies are made which will have long-term impacts, like having one-child policy in China, or people not getting married in Japan and then suddenly realized geriatric population is more than the young population, or then southern Indian states who followed the family planning that was given as a national project very properly, having less children. then having less population, etc. So these I would call the long-term policy adjustment factors. So having more children is not a solution for sure. Trying to reward well-performing states, GDP-wise, or when you say the way the entire South India followed the family planning, and this was a national project, right? Which was followed by the southern states. So give more points to it is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that we will not share the GDP with others. That would be wrong, because we are all countrymen, so we need to share our wealth and problems equally. So earnings more if they come from south, happily share the wealth, but reward the southern states with more political representation, reward the southern states with more projects, more developmental projects, etc. That should be balanced somewhere or the other. If the representation of the south keeps going down, and but yet we are earning more money and sharing it with everyone else, resentment will ultimately rise up, which is not good for anybody. So for the resentment to not rise and for this bonhomie to prevail across the nation, I believe a reward should be given to the states who perform well. It could be South India, North India, wherever. Well-performing states. See, some states have gone into financial debt, financial crisis. Who is bailing them out now? How do we bail them out? So those are also certain things that we need to look at as a nation. Deeper, understanding of long-term policy repercussions should be constantly studied and made adjustments for. An organization like Niti Aayog should be ideally doing that. Unfortunately, they are not doing it. I believe we should have alternate systems who do that.
Kavitha, Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi has recently launched a very vehement campaign over this alleged vote chori. As a person who's already questioned or raised questions about your own defeat in your constituency, how far you're buying this, this alleged irregularities in the elections system?
Fundamentally, it is not about me buying it or not. It is for as I said, in terms of caste census, it is for the Election Commission of India to make sure people believe in them by shielding questions from the opposition. If the Election Commission of India is trying to brush them off, it is not helping anybody. See, in a state, in a country like India with such huge population, I remember as a member of parliament, I was in America one time with the entire MP's delegation. We very proudly told them, look, you are, 30 crore people, you can't manage your election. 130 crores, we are managing our election, with EVMs, because America had this talk of going back from EVMs at that point of time. But now, if there are questions in the minds of people, it is for the Election Commission to stand upright and address them instead of, trying to target the opposition, just like any other politician. That is an unfortunate development. If you remember when Mr. Sheshan sir was the election commissioner, everybody knew that there is an Election Commission of India that exists. Now nobody wants to believe in Election Commission, which is not correct for our democracy. It is, well, Rahul Gandhi ji has this history of raising questions and then running away for a holiday. I hope he continues the fight. I hope all the other parties also continues the fight constantly. But Election Commission of India's primary responsibility is to make sure they answer, they give confidence to the people.
Since we are talking about LOP Rahul Gandhi ji's latest campaign on vote chori, I just wanted to ask you, do you think that his allegations are going to have an electoral impact at some point in the country? And so far, what is your approach? What is your stand on the allegations that he's made? He's made some very specific allegations on some seats, saying that some voters have been deleted, some voters have been added. What is your view on the specific allegations that have been made by Mr. Rahul Gandhi so far?
Nothing is impossible with BJP. To kill democracy, they will go to any extent. They want to eliminate minority votes. They want to eliminate opposition votes. They want to target and eliminate women's vote. That is what BJP is capable of very much. And if Mr. Rahul Gandhi is showing specific examples, it is for the Election Commission to come out clean and prove him wrong and, make this country believe. But unfortunately, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi spoke about vote chori, I could see the resonance even in the last village of Telangana saying, हाँ हो सकता है तो क्या ही होगा बीजेपी है. This is what people are saying, not me. So then it is for the election commission to give confidence to people that they are not doing unfortunately. We need to continue the fight. But as I again said, Rahul Gandhi ji just raises the issues and runs away. So instead, if all the opposition parties stay put, fight and get an answer from ECI, I think that will be for the future, best for the future of India.
Yeah, before winding up, I just wanted to ask you a light question. When you were an MP here, you have had lots of friends, across party. We used to meet informally, used to have, like chai. Are you in touch with all of them? Do you still have friends from other parties?
Yes, I have friends in every state and from every party. I'm very lucky that way, and we've managed to keep in touch over the years. If you've noticed, I was just recently in Haryana as well for a political party or rally of INLD, and I have many other friends in various parties, both who are traveling with BJP and Congress also. But then friends are friends, so yes, across the party lines, I still have the connections.
Yes, Kavitha, wishing you all the best for the next step and the journey forward. Okay, and thank you very much for sparing this time for us.
Thank you so much, Unni Krishnanji. Thank you, Liz.